Liz from Ecology Ottawa is here? Okay. On behalf of Hollaback. And we'll begin with Mr. McGuire this time.
All right. So I'm going to ask a question from Hollaback Ottawa, who wasn't able to be here tonight, and it continues along the theme of transit and making it safe. We had a long discussion about cycling being safe, but how do you plan to address gender-based violence on public transit if you're elected mayor?
I don't differentiate. Violence can happen to anybody. The idea that you can differentiate gender-based violence is inherently discriminatory. I understand. And wait a second. I have 2 daughters. They both ride the buses. This is a significant concern of mine. So I don't want to diminish the value of your question. I want to tell you, I come from this from a very personal space. When my kids get off the bus at South Keys late at night, they text me. I'm a very worried parent. And I don't want to diminish the value of your comment about gender-based violence. I'm worried about any violence, period. And since I have a little time left, I want to make one last clarification on LRT. LRT means light rail, Mr. Watson. They're the same thing. You just blew $6 billion on a downtown tunnel in LRT, 12 kilometers. I'm talking about putting LRT from Orleans to Canada, Riverside South, Barrhaven. It's the same thing as light rail. It's the O train. That's not a bad thing.
Okay, Mr. Zayed next, please.
Yeah, I am totally against violence of any form, whether gender-based or based upon somebody's gender or discrimination. We have to enforce this as a mayor of the city by increasing security at the bus stops and in the buses, and make sure that people who are reaching home late, either from the work or from their college, they have a safety right up to their homes. So as a mayor, we have to have more police patrol in the late hours. And instead of police going in the cars, we should have more foot patrols. And I think that will make for greater security for people who use the transit system. Thank you.
And Mr. Watson.
Thank you very much for the question. I know that, first of all, thank you to Hollaback and the work that you've done to advocate for safety on public transit. I think it is paying off, quite frankly, because we saw that you met with Chief Bordelow in May of this year. The Ottawa Police are now conducting research on best practices dealing with violence against women. We did have a stepped-up enforcement blitz just a couple of weeks ago, and we saw the coverage on that in terms of the number of charges laid and arrests made. Those blitzes can't be every once in a while. They have to be more consistent, working in collaboration with OC Transport Special Constables, as well as Ottawa Police, and the community at large in terms of conducting safety audits at stations. And we have made significant improvements. Cameras are coming into the new buses that will add another level of protection for people on the bus. But we continue to have far too many cases of women being assaulted, and it is the vast majority of people that are being assaulted are women on public transit, and we have to do better, plain and simple. And I think stepped-up enforcement is one. The fact that Deputy Skinner and Chief Bordelow are working on best practices on how we can conduct these kinds of interventions much more effectively. And I'm very appreciative of Hollaback pushing us at both the Transit Commission and the city to get the results that we're starting to see. So I thank you very much for that.
Okay, no further comments on that question. We have a second question, I believe, from the Green Space Alliance.